It's a really exciting time to be alive. We have a front row seat to the only known transformation of a world powered by dirty fossil fuels to a planet that gets its energy from renewable, clean sources. Number 6, geothermal heat from underground lava beds. The method of converting the heat rising from the depths of the molten core of the Earth into energy, also known as geothermal, powers millions of homes around the world, including the electricity usage for 27% of the Philippines and 30% in Iceland. But an Icelandic deep drilling project may have recently discovered the Holy Grail when it hit a pocket of magma, which had only happened once before in Hawaii. The team pumped water down into the hole, which the scorching magma instantly vaporized to a record-setting 842 degrees Fahrenheit. This highly pressurized steam increased the power output of the system tenfold, an amazing success that should lead to a giant leap in the energy-generating capabilities of geothermal projects around the world. Number 8, tidal power. Harnessing all the energy in the motion of the ocean could power the world several times over, which is why over 100 companies are trying to figure out how. Because of the focus on wind and solar, the tidal energy industry kind of got elbowed out of the early mix, but these systems are quickly becoming more efficient. For one, meet Oyster, a 2.4 megawatt producing hinged flap that attaches to the ocean floor and, as it opens and closes, pumps high pressure water onshore where it drives a conventional hydroelectric turbine. One of those could power a whole housing development or a couple massive residential towers, roughly 2,500 homes. An engineer with the Air Force Academy has created the Terminator winged-shaped turbine that employs lift instead of drag, allowing it to theoretically harness 99% of a wave's energy instead of the 50% that current tidal projects can get. And Perth, Australia, just got the world's first ever wave-powered desalination plant that provides the city with enough drinking water for 500,000 residents. Number 5, nuclear waste. Nuclear fission power plants are the traditional reactors that have been in use around the world for decades and provide the United States with 20% of our electricity. They use something called light water technology to surround the fuel rods with water, which slows the neutrons and allows for a sustained nuclear reaction. But the system is really inefficient. Only 5% of the uranium atoms in the rod get used up by the time it has to be removed. All that unused, highly radioactive uranium just gets added to our growing stockpile of nuclear waste. But now, finally, there appears to be another, more efficient way, called a fast reactor, where the rods are submerged in liquid sodium instead of water. This allows 95% of the uranium to be used, instead of the unacceptably inefficient 5%. Number 2, flying wind farms. We're already getting a lot of energy from the wind, but with the buoyant air turbine, or BAT, that floats 1,000 to 2,000 feet above the ground where winds are stronger and more consistent, we could soon be getting that energy much more efficiently. The system is simple. A ringed blimp with a wind turbine in the middle is tethered securely to the ground. It'll produce twice as much power as similarly sized tower-mounted turbines. It can even handle winds of more than 100 miles per hour and can be fitted with additional devices like a Wi-Fi unit, which would help bring the internet to parts of the world that don't have it yet. The buoyant air turbine was designed for bringing renewable wind energy to rural parts of the world, where building a traditional wind turbine was impossible, and will first be deployed in Alaska. It can even automatically detect and adjust its floating height to where the best wind speed is. When the wind speed is dangerously high, the thing will dock itself, eliminating the need for manual labor. Flying wind turbines like this should soon replace all the less efficient tower-based systems and could allow for the construction of offshore wind farms that have, until now, been really expensive to build. 4, solar windows. With production and installation costs getting cheaper by the day, solar power is taking off around the world. Europe is the best in photovoltaics and is driven by its leader, Germany. On an average sunny day in 2012, Deutschland got as much energy from the sun as 20 nuclear power stations, enough to power 50% of the country. Spain is now generating more than 50% of its power from renewable resources like solar. A California desert is home to the largest solar power station in the entire world, and the United States increased its solar capacity by nearly 500% from 2010